let you go. There's no way. I'm already still burning. So hold me close. Now, baby, I do what I'm told. Still learning to take my chances, to take my time, to keep on dancing, to walk that line, yeah. You got me shifting the paradigm, no longer wishing. You're my lucky strike. Love the way you ride. Look into my eyes, say you're ready to go. $1 million life, yeah. We could roll the dice. Act like you're surprised, but you already know. Oh yeah, got lucky overnight. Jackpot when I got the invite. Let me wrap my arms around you, cause I can't go home without you. And my heart just vibe with you, babe. Wanna go sky high with you, babe. Gotta bring you close to tell you that you're my lucky strike. And I got to tell you, if you didn't know, then I got to tell you that you're my lucky strike. And I got to tell you, if you didn't know, then I got to tell you that you're my lucky strike. Cooler than cold, I'm all in. So load up the dice, so heavy. The way that you roll, I'm falling. So I never fall. I'm ready to take my chances, to take my time, to keep on dancing, to walk that line, yeah. You got me shifting the paradigm, no longer wishing. You're my lucky strike, yeah. Love the way you ride.
Well, it's always a great relief to me when I see John and Rob rocking their heads along in the booth here, because it means I nailed the audio cue and we're actually here on time, seeming like a bunch of professionals here for the RecPoker Podcast. So thank you all for joining us here live on YouTube at 7:30 Eastern on Monday night, just like we do every week. And thank you to the Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino, our fantastic sponsor. And we're coming home, baby. We got a RecPoker road trip planned for August 4th and 5th at the one and only Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino. So more details about that later on in the show. But I have to thank our sponsors. I have to introduce myself. I guess my name is Jim Reed. I'm Bluffsterini in the home game at RecPoker Jim on Twitter. And I've got the best freaking job in the world because every Monday night they hand me the mic and I get to host the RecPoker Podcast and talk about poker with all my amazing friends on the Wrecking Crew. That's right. There's a crew that makes the magic happen here at RecPoker. And if you want to find out more about all the fantastic folks that get involved to make your RecPoker experience as great as it can be, you can go to rec.poker/crew. But just listen up because you're going to meet a few of them right here tonight as well.
I'm John Somsky, also known as Poker Geek MN everywhere.
And I'm Rob Washam, and I'm Rabman50 just about everywhere.
Right. And like I say, it takes a village to make the magic happen over here. I'm so pleased to be joined by a different rotation of Wrecking Crew members every night here every week in the chats edition of the podcast. We also have a forums edition of the podcast. And if folks enjoy the strategy side of poker, they might enjoy those forums editions of the podcast as well. Please subscribe and let us know that you enjoy the show. Tonight, we are going to be talking to the grandparents, the parents of the Poker Oasis, the people that made the Poker Oasis a thing. So what if you're on Twitter, you might be familiar with the Poker Oasis. Joseph and Tony have been running this awesome, fun home game down in Las Vegas for a while. And I got a pleasure to meet up with them myself when I was down there. And so we're going to talk to them. And why don't we just start with that? So Tony and Joseph, thanks for joining us tonight. I want to know. I want to know more about this story that we sort of started talking about when I was down there in person. You guys took the leap. You moved to Las Vegas. You started this poker club. So let's start a little further back from that, and you guys can figure out who's going to go first. But tell me a little bit about what caused poker to kind of have this role of primacy in your life that made it something that you could really go and take a leap like this with.
I'll let him take that first, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thanks for having us. I mean, we're both pleased to be here, and it's definitely exciting. I mean, stop me if you've heard this story before, but it was kind of 4 simple steps: Rounders, Moneymaker, Home Games, Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, we all know that lineage, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So
it's a path well tread. Let me say that. It's you're in excellent company there, Joseph.
Right. Thank you. So when we lived in Virginia, we kind of hosted some home games. It was basically a unwind on a Friday night. $20, low stakes, just for fun. Moved to Charlotte and kind of did the same thing, and we've met a lot of good friends along the way doing that. Quick aside, we were actually looking at the Denver area. Go Avalanche, go Broncos. And the market was just stupid. So we took a step back and said, well, why not Vegas? And it's just enough crazy for the two of us. And it was absolutely the right decision. And we hadn't actually stepped foot in Vegas until we were under contract for our house. So it was the ultimate leap of faith, and it just works.
Yeah, Tony, what about your side of that? What's your take on that story?
My side of that is that I met him. So I remember being taught like 5-card draw, I guess. I mean, back when I was little, my cousin showed me, and that was all besides solitaire that I really knew about cards, until, we were together for a while, and he said, do you want to learn? Or maybe more like, why don't you learn? So I said, okay, sure. I like a challenge. And I mean, since then, and especially moving here to Vegas, we've had the privilege of meeting a lot of different and interesting people, from very recreational players all the way to bracelet winners, and getting to know them, have conversations, see sort of all sides of the game and the community, and it's been really interesting.
Yeah, it's one of the things I noticed. The more involved I've gotten in the poker world is just how open and small the poker world is, and how full of people that want to help. Generous, kind people that want to make other poker players' worlds better. I wouldn't necessarily have credited the poker community with being that sweet, and because you just and we've talked about on the show before. Sometimes you just hear about some of the bad apples, and I think poker and gambling get kind of a bad rep when it comes to that sort of thing in the mainstream. But it couldn't be farther from the truth. So you both love poker, obviously. You're living in Virginia. You're enjoying home games there. What makes you decide, without ever having set foot in Las Vegas, like, that's it, we're going, we're making it happen? I mean, that really, it's not hyperbole to say, like, that's a real leap of faith.
Yeah, it was just one of those. We were living in Charlotte and said, well, there's just nothing here for us. We were both working from home at the time. And yeah, it was just, I can't even really explain it, other than we saved about 90,000 buying a house here than Denver. So there's your answer.
Yeah.
Oh, that, and I think we were tired of the East Coast, the icy winters, the humidity. I've had family in the Southwest, and we visited a bit, and like, well, it's a nice area. We kind of played around with Arizona a little bit, and then, just kind of talking it through, saying, well, if you want to get more serious about, poker, this might be a good place to do it.
Yeah, and tired of driving 3.5 hours to Cherokee from Charlotte. So that was a good driver as well. No pun intended.
Yeah, I believe it. We're joined here by Kim Kilroy, who just missed the sound off earlier, but Kim, the pet vet Kilroy, is here. Hello, Kim. Feel free to jump in if you have any questions or comments for our group. So tell me a little bit about the Poker Oasis, how it started. You guys have a really sweet setup there. The magnetized chips, I can't quite express how great I think those are when it comes for like clumsy online players like me coming in and knocking stuff all over the place. Being able to just stack them up so pretty like that, my hat's off to you. How did that get started in earnest there? I know you'd played home games before, but was this where that kind of found its own way?
Yeah, I mean, it was fortunate, when we were looking at houses online when we were still in Charlotte. One of the prerequisites was, we need a space to play poker because we had this little 4-foot wide poker table that was supposed to fit 8 people, in really tight quarters. But no, we're going to make it comfortable. We're going to have a good room for it, and it's just kind of happened. Organically, for a lack of a better word right now. We went to the first thing that anyone does when they move to Vegas is go to Spinetti's and look at all the gaming supplies and all the toys and everything. So I said, we need a table. So we got the table and the chairs. And then it was, we have space for 2 tables, so let's do that. So now we have a duplicate setup of everything. And, it's kind of my passion project, and obviously for Tony as well, because she won't admit it, but I'm the second best poker player in the house. It's live. It can't be refuted.
That's right. It can't be unsaid. And
now you've gone, now it's expanded. Every time I turn around, we're expanding things. So now we have, I think, enough cards for both tables for, I think he said 21 mixed games. So it's like, okay, so we're really just throwing it all out there and something for everybody for sure.
Yeah. Well, and that's something for everybody. I think that's a great way to be thinking about poker and how we want to make room for new players at the table. And I know, you guys have talked as well about helping new players learn the game and get more comfortable in a playing environment and that kind of thing. I guess tell me a little bit about sort of why you think that's important and ways that some places are better or worse at other places than making new players feel welcome.
Yeah, you know what? I'll let Tony take that one first.
I mean, so and I speak from sort of a woman's point of view, and there are some very, very talented women players out there, and there are groups specifically tailored just for women's communities. I think that's great, but I want to walk into a place and not feel like I'm out of place. It's so much fun to be had. There are so many dynamic games, and I don't want to walk in, have everybody at the table kind of go, and just feel like this big. So, to have kind of a welcoming environment where you can goof off a bit, you can make mistakes, we can talk through them. We can say, why are you folding big blind if nobody raised? I mean, I've had to chide people for that. Like, no, just keep them in. It's a free flop. Like, but the room to have those moments and learn from them before going into a place where, you have a table full of nothing but OMCs, staring at you.
Yeah, Rob. Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, when we had our RecPoker meetup game at MGM Grand a few weeks ago, and I mean that was spectacular. But I think one of the things that was fun about it, several members who are not traditionally cash players, they're tournament players or they're online players, came and gave it a try because they knew it was a comforting group. It was a welcoming group. No one was going to be berating them for making mistakes. And, everyone was going to have a good time and try their best and learn together. And I think that is not always the dynamic at the poker table, as you point out there, Tony. So kudos to you guys for cultivating that kind of space. Joseph, has that been something that's been like a part of the mandate since the beginning for you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there's some people that have come in who have tried to take it a little bit too seriously. And, you're going to get some of that. But our mentality is, if you want the stress and you want the ego, go play at a casino. Made a rhyme and didn't even mean to. And I'm not saying that, casinos are bad. Obviously, if you want to, better your game, get more advanced, then you go play. But to learn, don't pay the house to learn how to play poker, because that's just a losing proposition. So we try to make it inviting and friendly, and we've met some really good friends doing that, and some really good people, and made great friendships. So it's been all around a positive experience.
I really like that line. Don't pay the house to learn. I think I told you guys we do our play money home games here. John Somsky runs our club where we run 10 of these play chip tournaments a week, and it's like a place to come practice, find out what the mistakes are. And I think in live games in particular, things like learning that you can't just raise by putting one chip in that's bigger than the raise amount, or like learning what a string bet is. On the show last week, we were talking about some sort of like the chip mechanics that people give themselves away with when they're not used to playing live, and how it can be embarrassing to do that in a tournament situation or something, or with a bunch of people that are not going to give you the grace of someone who's learning. So I think that's a fantastic way to approach the game. Joseph, you and Tony have both mentioned sort of all the people that you've met, the friends you've made in the poker world. How long have you been in Las Vegas now, since you moved there?
Just under 18 months, so year and a half.
A year and a half. And you really flourished in that time. I was really pleased when we were talking sort of about some of the friends that we had in common in the poker world, and the way that you'd affiliated yourselves, like with the charity series of poker, for instance. So you guys move fast. That's fantastic. Tell me a little bit about sort of what that experience was like, being a new person or a new couple in Vegas and in the poker scene down there, and sort of meeting people and getting brought into the community. Talk a little about that experience.
Yeah, sure. And we definitely didn't waste any time. And we were here the third week of January, and we were both working that week, and I saw the Pro Bowl was here. So I said, "Hey, honey, you want to go to the Pro Bowl?" And that was literally 2 weeks from when we moved here. So we went to the Pro Bowl, and again, we just kind of dove in, feet first, head first, whichever, into all of the stuff that Vegas has. And I have to credit Tony for finding the CSOP event and saying, "Hey, why don't you, go do that?" And just from what I know now versus back then, it's just night and day. I was nervous. I wasn't talking to anybody. I knitted my way to a second place finish.
Nice.
And I said, this was kind of fun, right? And so we said, this is a lot of fun. This is definitely on brand for us. And we started volunteering. And we started May of last year. We ended up on the St. Jude fundraising committee, and we helped out for about a year or so. We've kind of backed off with other things going on, but we're definitely still a part of helping them out with that. And we've met a lot of people.
That's amazing. Don't give yourself any grief for knitting your way to second place. There's no photos on the scorecard, man. You get to that second place finish however you need to. That's not easy to do.
Right. This is very true. And Matt Stout, who runs Charity Series of Poker, well known, especially on the WPT side of things as well. um, definitely does some great things, and we've been happy to help. And we've had some of the poker news guys at the home game for some of the mixed games and stuff. We've met DraftKings executives, Lincoln Kennedy from the Raiders, just a lot of people who come out to be the celebrity bounties and stuff, and still kind of talk to from time to time. Just real quick, and then I'll let Tony take it. But when we went to the Golden Knights Edmonton round 2, game 1, Wah, Colasar, and Carrier started, and we've known and met all 3 of them, from CSOP. So it was kind of nice to, hey, we know those guys, and they're starting game 1 of round 2 in the playoffs. So anyway, it's Vegas. It's exciting. It's as fun or as boring as you want it to be.
Yeah. Tony, do you have something?
It makes it a lot easier for me when he's a social butterfly. So I pretty much just kind of follow along with, let's go do this. Let's go try this out. Sure. Let's go meet these people. Absolutely. It's definitely been a whirlwind, but a really good one. We have been afforded a lot of opportunities in meeting some people that, you've read books about, and it's really, really interesting and very eye-opening. Getting to know people that you see on PokerGo or something, and you think that's unattainable. This is so much larger than life. And then, you end up sitting at a table with them and you go, oh, well, they're fine. Whatever, right?
yeah, truly.
Right, and one of which we've made friends with is a friend of the RecPoker, Chris Wallace.
Oh yeah, Chris Fox Wallace,
yeah,
longtime friend of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Tony has gone rock hunting.
Oh,
there you go.
yeah, it's amazing. And I kind of mentioned this earlier, but I really am just blown away at how approachable these people are in the poker world. Like, I don't want to give away any secrets, but a lot of the big guests we've had on the show, I've just DM'd them on Twitter and said, like, hey, will you come on our podcast? And sometimes people are surprisingly obliging, and I think you kind of point out meeting some celebrity bounties and people that are celebrities either in the world of poker or in another part of the world. I mean, if you're listening to this show, go ask someone to do something. Like, make the ask. You never know what they're going to say, and you'd be surprised how generous some people might be with their time or their reputation, or maybe they'll come on your podcast, or maybe they'll put up a prize to your tournament or something like that. You really never know, but a lot of these people want to help. So here, Rob, did you have something there?
Well, I'm just curious about your home games. I'm surprised if you only have 2 tables, how do you keep it constricted to like 18 people? Because I would think that your home games would be very, very popular in that area.
Right. Yeah. So no, very, very good question. And actually, ironically, we only end up using one of the tables for whatever reason. I don't know if people are just reticent to go to someone's house to play poker, especially with all the horror stories that you hear now of, just things happening in the world. But
I mean, we've had the second one out a couple times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had, and mainly for tournaments. Mm-hmm. We've definitely had the second one out a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. I think we've held 12 or 13 different events over they'll say the last 15 months. So, but I think with keeping the numbers lower, or at least with 2 tables, we do have a meetup group. And that's where you can RSVP for the events and stuff. So I'll put the limit on there. And we've got some other friends that are, say, on Twitter or whatever, that I'll kind of invite on the side. So it's just it is kind of a dance to keep the numbers manageable. Especially we're in a residence, so there's parking and stuff like that. So there's definitely a lot of moving parts there.
So I take it you're in South Vegas because you said it's the best poker room south of South Point. And I've been to South Point a few times, so I know exactly where that is. Another curious thing, do you have a dealer then for that table that's not a player, or are the players dealing themselves?
Well, we started with them dealing, and it was just slowing up the game too much, I'm sure, as you know. So when we do hold them, usually, either I'll deal or Tony will deal. If we do mixed games, I'll bring in a dealer for that, and we've met some good ones from CSOP. So I'll shoot them however much for them to come out, because obviously they're spending their time here as well. So yeah, definitely for the mixed games, we'll have the dedicated dealer, the outsourced dealer.
Yeah, I play in a home game here where I live, and we usually have 2 or 3 tables, and they have specific dealers for each of the tables, but the dealers also play. So they do end up dealing for every hand, because like you say, a lot of people are not comfortable dealing. A lot of recreational players especially are not comfortable dealing, don't know how to shuffle, don't know how to keep the cards, so that people can't see them, that sort of thing. So yeah, I like the idea of having a specific dealer. So I was wondering if on your regular games, does your dealer actually get to play, or is that dealer specifically just dealing?
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends on what they're comfortable with. I tried dealing and playing a couple of events ago, and that didn't go well. It was until I let one of my friends deal that I actually started playing well. But anyway, so yeah, they can absolutely play. It depends, again, what they're comfortable with.
John Somsky, you unmuted there.
Yeah, I was wondering, what type of mixed games do you play? I'm a fan of mixed games. I'd like to promote them as much as possible. So what all do you play?
Well, we have obviously we stick with the horse games. So Hold'em, Omaha, Raz. We have Crazy Pineapple. That one's of course fine. Badoogi's fine. Yeah. So we have I think Big O is one of the cards that we have. 2 to 7 triple draw or single draw. Badacy. Yeah, so nothing too out of the ordinary. If we're not doing the Resorts World Carnival games or anything like that, but it's definitely some of the variations of the the stud or the community or the draw games.
Well, and the mixed games. So the name of it on the meetup is the home games and study group. And one person coming to one of the home games made a good point. Like, so is the study group part actually a thing? It is. And we'll get there. So we have, especially with the mixed games, people coming here have at least a basic understanding of Hold'em. But we have started the study group portion of the mixed games. And I even want to do some Hold'em study. I want to talk more like game theory and that kind of thing. So yeah, we're very lucky to have a couple of friends that are very proficient in mixed games, willing to come over and kind of walk us as a group through some of these things. Like, I'm still reticent about Omaha. So there's too many cards. I don't know what to do with this.
Well, the mixed game, it's a different experience. It is. I think a lot of players are very familiar with No Limit Hold'em now, and some of those other games can feel like quite a departure. John is being modest, but he's been a proponent for expanding the mixed game pool for a long time now. We actually run a different mixed game series every month here in our home game club, and for the entire previous month, there's a practice game on Saturday nights in that variant, so that when people get to the real player of the year points race, when it's mixed game month, they're not dipping a toe in for the first time. And I feel that pain. I struggle with a lot of mixed games because it's just not what my training's been in. But I see that it's so much fun. Like if you walk into a casino, the tables that are laughing, those folks are playing mixed games. It's not all just like hoodies and earbuds. Those players are there to have a good time. And I do feel like it's going to be harder to solve those games than it will be to sort of practically solve no limit hold'em. So I do think that mixed games are kind of the future. And their complexity is one of the reasons why that is the case. So I think we could all use a little help. We could all use a little help getting into those mixed games. But I was curious about that. I'm glad you brought that up. So yeah, Joseph, talk a little bit about sort of like the learning side of it or the teaching side of it, or what does that, is it like people just come and there's questions and answers, or you turn the cards over after the hand and kind of talk about why people did what they did? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, you said exactly. People come in, we'll do kind of a Q&A, even, in the beginning when we were doing the mixed games, no, we would actually deal the hands face up. That way everybody could see, like if we're doing Omaha, that way you just go position by position and say, well, do you think this is good or bad? And, let them think about it a little bit as well to get them engaged in the process. Let them kind of figure things out as they're going along, as we're teaching them. And that was definitely, I think, a good experience for people. And we kind of started the mixed games. We were at a CSOP event, and I know Chad and Jesse from Poker News wanted to start doing some mixed games. And even kind of said, why are we going to play 4-8 mixed games and pay the house to learn? So I said, well, fine, we'll do 2-4 here at the Oasis, and there's no rake, and we can play until whatever. So we've kind of been, again, it's more of an expensive, fun way to learn hold'em, mixed games, whatever the case. And the number one rule that I have on the thing is have fun. That's that's kind of where it starts.
Nice. Tony, do you have something you wanted to add there?
And not just, I mean, in terms of the learning aspect, that's something we even just between the two of us do on a fairly regular basis is, one of us goes and plays. We have a debrief afterwards. We talk about hands. We talk about, how did you feel? What do you think you did right? What do you think you did wrong? We'll sit there and watch. We've been watching like the main event and kind of looking at, well, why are they doing X, Y, and Z? This doesn't make much sense. And trying to kind of break it down that way too. So, that's kind of what I want, to see the learning portion turn into is, we, even the other day, sitting there just having a relaxing evening. And my whole thing is, okay, before solvers and everything else, you had these players. I'm reading Amarillo Slim's biography right now, his pseudo autobiography, and it gets you starting to think about like guys like that, guys like Doyle, guys like Stu Unger. What did they have? What did they bring to the game? Because it wasn't the solvers and it wasn't the apps and all this stuff. So, that's my impetus right now is kind of digging into that and just the psychology of it. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to us having more of those, discussion sessions.
Well, that's something I want to take off that a little bit because, you guys are really blessed to have someone in your life that loves you that will talk about poker with you. Because, a lot of other people, I hear this all the time when people join RecPoker. They say, listen, I've got great friends and I love poker, but my friends don't love poker. And so I don't have someone to like talk to poker about. So whether it's our Discord or our forums or joining the strategy conversations that we have here for our premium members, it's kind of hard to find that person or that group of people, that study group, of peers where you can really talk poker with and read all the books you want, listen to all the podcasts, watch all the videos. If you're not talking about poker with somebody else, you're really putting a ceiling on how far you can progress as a player. So it's a really underrated aspect of the game and how we should be helping people get along. It's just having these conversations, creating these spaces where people can come and talk about poker. Joseph, you said, I'm sure I misheard you earlier. You said no rake or rake free or something. There must have been some sort of miscommunication in the technology here. Talk a little bit about what I'm sure I misheard.
Right. No, we don't charge any fees or rake. It's just people come play poker and have fun. And that's what we do. We're in a fortunate position, that, and again, it's not, it takes 7-8 hours out of our Sunday, and we're also playing, so we're getting something out of it as well. But yeah, no, we don't charge any fees or rate for the cash games or tournaments or whatever. And actually, to further that, we're doing an event on August 20th. We're just having a $20 tournament, and the winner, aside from their winnings, gets a seat to the CSOP on the 26th.
Wow.
So it's
That's
just,
amazing.
so to kind of encourage more people to come out and whatnot. So it's just, again, we've been kind of fortunate, and we're, I don't know, paying it forward, paying back the community. I don't know, however you want to look at it.
I love that.
I mean,
Kim,
when they bring chips and cookies, it's great.
Yeah,
yes,
right.
yes.
We have one guy.
At least every.
Yes. When there's one player in particular, every game will bring Pringles of various flavors, and if he's not going to make the next one, he brings them extra for the next time so that we have them.
That's great. Well, having good people in the group, that is the key. That's definitely the key. Speaking of which, Kim, I saw you on mute there. Did you have something?
I did. First of all, I would always bring chips or cookies. and
She would, it's true.
Yeah, it's for 100%. I used to run a home game as well. But also, I'm just wondering how many of your players that come on a regular basis are women?
Actually, quite a few. And I'm really, I was kind of pleasantly surprised by that. I think starting out, there may have been one, but I'm trying to think. The last
that would have
one,
been me, probably.
I think we had 3 or 4, maybe 3 at the last one, and it seems like that's starting to kind of spread a little more. And I'm hoping that's because maybe word gets around or whatever, but that it is welcoming, it is friendly. Even if I'm not playing that day, because for whatever reason, or if we have a full table, I like to sit and just kind of be a part of all of it. And yeah, one lady even brought her emotional support dog. I guess she goes and takes it to the casinos, and this dog has become well known. And it's like, all right, well, as long as he doesn't mind, the smell of cats, I think we're good. But we have seen more women players coming out, which is really exciting.
That's great. It sounds like such a friendly environment, and I'm sure you'll get more.
I hope so.
Yeah. Hopefully, if a few people listening and live in South Las Vegas and feel like they'd like to get involved, so I'm going to put the links in the show notes. Tony, you're on Instagram and Threads right now. Do you want to give a shout out for your handle there in case people want to reach out to you?
Absolutely. It's the fuzzy, just one word.
And, Joseph, you remained on the hellscape that is Twitter, like me.
Yes.
It's what is your Twitter handle again?
Yeah, it's just hockey_poker. And as you can see over Tony's right shoulder, there's the hockey aspect and why we looked at moving to Denver.
A man after my own heart. Before I got really involved with RecPoker, my Twitter handle was Hold'em_Steelers. So you like a sport poker. That's like, how to get the most out of that. And the Poker Oasis has its own Twitter handle, I think. Is it just at the Poker Oasis?
Correct. Yeah, just at the Poker Oasis, and I just built the website in March, thepokeroasis.com, and that at least has the events on there, the upcoming events. I'll get smart enough to be able to RSVP from there, but not now, not yet. We
But
have
that's what
you're on
the
the
meetup,
meetup group.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah, and so if you have meetup, you can join the group there. It's LV Poker Games and Study Group.
All right. So, and I would encourage folks to check them out. I know Meetup is becoming a very popular app, or at least, maybe it was 5 years ago and I'm just catching on now, for finding games in your area. So that's pretty cool. And again, I'll put that link in the show note as well. And Joseph, can you just show everyone the fancy duds that you've got on in honor of look at that. Blue Jays
Look,
jersey.
bonus points if you can guess what player, but I'll give you a hint. There's there's the
92
patch.
World Series. Let's see. I mean, there's a few. Could be John Olerud.
It was. There it is. Yes, number
What?
9.
Really?
Number 9.
Oh, wow.
Right off the
Okay.
bat.
I don't know. Literally, hey, ding! There we go. That's I don't know. Something was speaking to me. Something was speaking to me. John Olerud. All right, a little blast from the past for me. Teenage Jim is very excited at the prospect. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Tony. Is there anything else that we should let our audience know about the group or yourselves before we roll on out of here?
I just one thing. Well, I guess a couple of things. Definitely see if you can get Matt Stout on the podcast.
Yes, we're getting him on
CSOP.
No,
excellent.
You did a great job of introducing us. I pulled him aside on break, and we spent every second of that available break time talking about how we're going to do some cool stuff in the future. So he's going to be a fun guest, and I think that RecPoker and the charity series of poker will be able to have some fun together in the future. So my hat's off to you for that one. Thanks, Joseph.
No problem. And the colors already match, so that's great because they also have the black and yellow.
I saw that. It's a very classy organization. I've always said that about them. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Definitely look at the meetup group. If you're in Vegas, we would love to have you out for a game. And again, we can do the friendly stuff. I'm also looking to maybe have some more serious games, for the more advanced and intermediate stuff, because it doesn't have to stop at just the friendly games. We're going to try to, accommodate all levels if we can, and definitely have the chips to do it and stuff. So
that's awesome.
And hopefully we can get something done with RecPoker next time you're in Vegas, and maybe have something here, because we've got the poker side, and you already saw the Oasis side as well. So
it's a fantastic.
We have it all, not the tutor.
I'm gonna pop the cat friendly Benadryl before I come on over there, but nothing could keep me away. I felt very well taken care of when I was over there. You guys were very kind, and I think it would be a great place to do some sort of educational training element, just like what you guys are talking about. I think we'll be seeing some sort of RecPoker event at the Poker Oasis sometime coming up. Joseph, one more time, what is the meetup? What should they look up if they're on the meetup group to find you guys? Then we'll leave it with that. Is it LV?
Yeah, it'll be LV Poker Games and Study Group.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I hope you get a few new members looking you up, and I'll be looking forward to getting down there again sometime soon for our next visit. It's going to be a great fit.
Absolutely.
All right, Joseph and Tony, thank you again for joining us, and for all that you're doing down there to keep poker fun in the South Las Vegas region. I can't wait to talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, yeah, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Night.
Well, while Tony and
you as well.
Joseph sign off, we'll be talking about some home game results with the one and only John Somsky. And so while folks do that, I think we should start typing the words food bank into the YouTube chat. If you'd like to win a prize, it's free to join the show, but we do give out real prizes every week. And the reason we do is it's how we try and bring some awareness to the plight of food insecurity. Food insecurity exists on a spectrum. there might be people in your community, your neighbors, your friends that you don't know need a little help putting food on the table, or maybe putting food in the stomachs of their kids. So one great way to help in your own neighborhood and your own community is just to Google food banks near me. If you pull out your phone right now and Google food banks near me, you'll find an organization or two or three that would really benefit from a donation of some hours of your time, a few dollars, or just some non-perishable food items. So I'd encourage everyone to go lend a hand to a neighbor and put some food on their table. You never know who might need the help. And if you just type the words food bank into the chat right now, you'll be eligible for a prize that we will be rolling for in just a few minutes. In the meantime, John Somsky, legend, man, God among men. What's new and exciting in home game land? I know you didn't win one this week because you won one last week, and you're only allowed one a month, is my understanding.
So you must be talking about a different John Somsky, because I am none of those things. But we do have Keck Geek won his 7th daily nightly event.
No
and
surprise.
A really mad guy got his 4th nightly victory.
Congratulations.
Fortune NY got his first.
Hey!
Oh, I have this in the wrong location. This is actually the No Limit Hold'em Championship event that he won. The points,
and he's in the YouTube chat right now. And I don't want to dox the guy, but I will say that is a previous RecPoker No Limit Hold'em champion that we're talking about there. A player of the year, no less, who had a fantastic cake made in honor of that occasion, if memory serves. So Fortune NY, congratulations on another notch on the belt, sir, with another win in the RecPoker Home Game Series.
And then we have Digging 8 Graves, got his or her fifth nightly victory for the year. K Poker Wannabe, Ron Payton got his 6th nightly victory.
He's on a roll.
The year. D. Andrus G, Daniel A. I'm assuming it's D. Andrus because Daniel A. Anyway, got his 4th nightly victory for the year. Evil Roy CA, David Westerveld, won his 2nd daily mixed event for the year. East Coast Spitter, Ben Enslow, got his 4th international victory for the year. Stewie 13, Stuart Carriage, got his 2nd international victory for the year.
Also in the YouTube chat.
Oh,
yep,
yeah.
He's in there. Yeah.
And then,
how about that?
CKP Ham, Carol Hammock, got her first LPP event victory. So she can contact info@rec.poker for a free month at Learn Pro Poker.
That's right. I think we've heard Carolyn's name mentioned a few times over the last few weeks in the winner's circle here. So congratulations to her. I think this is the first Sunday win, as you pointed out, John. So please do send that email, info@rec.poker. And you have won already a whole free month at Learn Pro Poker, which you will love. They have a bunch of fantastic prizes going on over there. Oh yeah, so we got Ben in the chat as well. Ben, type food bank for God's sake. I'm gonna roll the die soon. You don't want to be excluded. But I see we've got Stu and Fortune. Fortune New York is actually one of the players that I played 2-5 with for the first time at Playground Casino card room up near Montreal. That was a really fun trip. And as is typical for these things, I somehow managed to not arrange a ride back to the train station. There were some hijinks involved with that, but we can get into that another time. There we go. Okay, so I think we've got Stu, Fortune, Ben. No,
Luke.
Stu, Fortune, Luke, and then Ben. So we've got a 4-sided die, and there are actually 4 names. So we're actually going to roll the 4-sider here in that order. Let's see who the winner is this week. It's a 2. That goes to Fortune, the one and only, who says, yes, he's seen Jim flop 17 sets in like 2 hours. Yeah, if you tuned in last week, you know that flopping sets is basically the only way I know how to profit from the game of poker. So yes, I know you do, Luke. I know. Thank you, Luke. You're right. I'm a terrible person, and I do need to catch up on those. You are 100% correct, sir. Luke, did the pins arrive? This is what I want to know. This was probably the furthest we've ever mailed pins, and I don't know if they officially have arrived yet or not. So I don't know what the lag is like on this, but type in if they did. I'd love to see a photo looking sharp with your brand new RecPoker pins, all the way from Australia. I got to line up at the international desk at Canada Post and send those all the way down to Australia, along with one for Merv, because Merv finally got his medal. How about that? Congratulations, Merv. You deserve it. All right, folks. Well, let me see. It's July 10th as this is coming out. Okay, we got to talk about the Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino. We're having our RecPoker weekend up there coming. It says, yes, they did arrive. Okay, fantastic. Excellent work. So on August 4th, which is a Friday, and August 5th, which is a Saturday, we've got a bunch of tournaments scheduled at Running Aces. There's going to be some great prizes added to the prize pool, some swag, some lammers, some RecPoker prizes, some merchandise. That's going to be great. I think we'll also get a cash table set up so that folks can, people can dip a toe in, as we're saying, which is going to be really fun. On the Sunday, I think maybe we'll have like a breakfast or something if people are in town for the weekend and flying out on Sunday like I am. Maybe we can all get together if you stay over at the hotel Saturday night and have breakfast on Sunday or something like that. So it's going to be fun. Oh, yeah. Luke says he did get the pins. They're on his RecPoker hat. Yes, the Discord pic. I saw the pic. That's right. With the red mesh back hat. I remember now. Those were looking really good. Looked like a driver photo. Yeah, nicely done, Luke. Awesome. Thanks, man. And thanks for posting the pic. If folks, I love seeing these photos of people with the RecPoker merch and the pins, repping us on different continents or even on our own continent in different card rooms and stuff. That is super cool. So I think we're starting a contest where if you post a photo of yourself wearing any RecPoker related stuff with the hashtag RecPrec, REPREC, then you're going to get entered into a contest, and we'll start doing a drive, like a raffle for those every month or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but if you're listening and you own some RecPoker merch, take that snapshot and post it somewhere with the hashtag RecPrec, and we'll take a look at them and make sure we give out some prizes coming forward, because it just puts a big smile on everyone on the Wrecking Crew's face when they see that getting repped. And look at Rob. Rob's smiling even just thinking about other people smiling about seeing the merch. That's just the kind of friendly group that we have around here. So yeah, Running Aces, that's going to be a fantastic trip when it's coming up. We're also going to be doing a bunch of other road trips this fall and winter, so stay tuned to see what's coming up with that. What do you think, folks? Is there anything else urgently pressing that we should tell our members about before we roll on out of here, or just let them leave in less than an hour for once on a Chats podcast? Is it even possible? Looks like we might do it. We might do it, folks. Okay. Well, thank you to everyone for being here in the YouTube chat. We always have so much fun. Yeah, that's it, Luke. A final table cash pick. Amen. Yeah, that's it. I love that idea. Thanks for Luke and Ben and Fortune and I'm already forgetting someone. Stu and all the fun people hanging out in the YouTube chat. That was super fun. Thanks to Kim and Rob and John for their insights and contributions. Kim says, can you teach us in a future podcast how to flop sets? Yeah, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on that one. See if we can get a little manual together. Yeah, because it is very handy. It's a very helpful. It's a bankroll booster. There's no doubt about it. Of course, I'll thank the Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino, but mostly it's you, the listeners, that I want to thank, because we wouldn't do it without you. So thanks for your support, and we'll see you all next week, if not before. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.